We are live. It is Fiverr Friday. Woo! Fiverr Friday. Ah! That's right. We made it to, did you like the close up there? We made it to Fiverr Friday. Yay! So, this is a VO's journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. It is Friday, April 24th. We have about a week left in this amazing month. And today is a glorious day. Friday is a glorious day. I've got my coffee. I've got my ceremonial pencil. Yay! And we are ready to talk about how to make you some money on Fiverr. If you are new to Fiverr Fridays, basically how this works is I go ahead and do a little spiel while I'm talking. You go ahead and post questions, comments in the chats, and I answer them, get into a dialogue with you, and it's just overall good times and good vibes. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you've got questions, if you've got comments about your Fiverr business, how to grow your Fiverr business, anything you want to know, just go ahead and post those questions right into the comment section, and I will be super happy to answer them. So today, I titled this piece "Back to Basics," and I think it's really important. And I want to say that, I want to preface all of this conversation that we have today with laying some specific things to rest. Okay. Now I know there is. There's always been a lingering question out there about Fiverr. Is Fiverr really a place that you can make money? You know what I mean? Is Fiverr really a valid site for voiceover artists? And the reality is it absolutely is a valid site where you can make a lot of money. So I want to tell you this, right, because it's not that I want to brag, but I do want to point out that, you have the ability to make a good amount of money on Fiverr from voiceover. And, with me, as I've gone through my tenure on Fiverr, I've had better months than others. Some months I've had just south of $10,000 a month. And this month, I am definitely north of $8,000 already this month with a week to go. I tell you these numbers, the very purpose I tell you them is because, this is all from Fiverr. That revenue, that number I just stated, that's from Fiverr. So when I talk about these things that I'm going to talk about today, about getting back to some basics things to do for your Fiverr account to make sure it is optimized perfectly, it is exactly where it needs to be so that you can be found in the rankings. When you're found, you're going to get clicked on, and when you're clicked on, people are going to buy from you. Those are the three things you always need to focus on. I want to point out that this is the real deal. It's not... Thank you, Eric. Tape heads. That's right. Fiverr, we're going to do the close-up again. Whoa! So I have a camera doing close-ups. Sorry, Instagram, you don't get the close-ups. I guess I could go like, whoa! Anyways, I got my close-up on my camera there. If you didn't leave after that close-up and I didn't scare you away, I apologize. Thank you for not running. Anyways, so the reason why I want to say all this is because, I am living proof that you can make an insane amount of money on Fiverr. And I've had the fortunate, the just wonderful, fortunate, I don't know. I've just been lucky to have worked with so many wonderful voice actors who have become top-rated seller while working with me, and they're making a killing. I'm working with someone right now who she's on my coattails. She's up there around $6,000 or $7,000, and just this month. And these are good numbers. These are great numbers. These are life-changing type numbers for all of us. And I know some people, though, that are really struggling, that are having a hard time making $10 or $15 a month. So I wanted to talk to you today about getting back to the basics, but basics in the sense that these are things that you must absolutely do to grow your Fiverr account, to make sure that you are, getting everything out of that particular platform. Okay. So again, we're going to talk about the three things, and that is being found in the algorithm or in the search, right? That's key, because you can't do anything, whether it's on Fiverr, whether it's on Google, whether it's, like if you're not being found but from your website on Google, right? I mean, it's a placeholder. Okay. We all know that. Okay. So, it's can I be found? When you are found, then it's, will people click on me? What is the bait? In this particular case on Fiverr, our bait is always going to be our thumbnail, our title, and possibly the price can be a bait as well. But people will stop and look at us because of the really great thumbnail picture we have of ourselves, or the eye-catching thumbnail, okay, and title. So that is key to being found, then being clicked on from that. Then after that, when they click on us, when they listen to our demo, when they go read our sales copy, which is the description, but I like to call it sales copy because it is sales copy, are people being inspired to buy from you? Okay, so listen, first off, if you have not, and I know that right now it's hard. We can't just go out and do things like we used to right now during COVID-19. But you don't have to go out and hire somebody. You could take pictures with your phone. You could take pictures with a camera that you have in the house, but we all have phones, and the majority of the phones, their cameras are fantastic. They're just as good as most of the cameras, that you can buy. So, take some fresh photos of yourself, some great photos with some eye-appealing backgrounds, get yourself all looking great and go for it. And then put some excellent photos online of yourself. I put my photo everywhere, as you guys know. You're probably sick of seeing my face. Okay. And, I'm not winning GQ Guy of the Year here. Okay. I'm not some handsome man running around. But the reality is that it doesn't matter how good you look. Because I know for the longest time, and I'm bringing this up, okay, I'm going to bring it up. I don't feel like, I'm this handsome guy. I'm not. I'm just a normal guy like everybody else. And we've got to put ourselves out there, though, so people can see us and know who we are. It doesn't matter if you feel like you look great or you don't look great. We can still make ourselves look professional. This might not be the best professional look, but we can still try to make ourselves look presentable and put out a good quality picture of ourselves. If you watched the video I did yesterday, I talked about the narrative, right? Telling the story beneath the story. And I want to tell you that I believe this goes beyond just narration. It's our life, right? I mean, there is the story that we tell the world, and then there's the story that's going on underneath. And a lot of times when we put ourselves out there, right, we feel bare, like we can't hide. Okay. And since that happens, we're nervous about it. We're scared about it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to make videos of ourselves. I spent the longest time, starting a VO's journey and Anthony Pica Productions LLC and doing this business. I mean, this was the greatest thing I've done in my life, from my professional life standpoint. But it wasn't the first thing I tried. I tried many things before, and it wasn't the first thing I tried on the internet, right? I mean, when it came to trying to utilize the internet to make an extra income. But I never was willing to put myself out there, like my face out there, videos or anything like that. And I had to tell you, I really feel like, the videos, the podcast, all the things that I've done has really helped me personally grow as an individual. Okay. As an individual, meaning like having confidence in myself. And you need to do that too. It starts with taking some great, starts easy. Take some great pictures of yourself. I don't care if they're selfies, take some good selfies. All right, of yourself, or put your phone somewhere and hit the little, 5-second shot. or something, you know, or sticking on something, stage something to get some good photos of yourself. But I'm just trying to really, you know, I don't know, get you fired up about doing that basic thing. That is, you know, that is one of the best things that you can do. It has to be appealing for people to click on it. All right. Your titles. Let's make sure we have some great titles. Great titles. How we can get great titles? Well, I want you to focus and narrow in. You know, I talked recently about that book, right? The one-page marketing plan book. And that book, it's a great idea about that. We can't compete, right, with sites like Fiverr or these other sites when it comes to marketing. We just can't do it. We can't spend the money. We'll never have that money that these places have. But what we can do is we can target areas. Okay, so with your titles and everything that you're doing, I want you to target areas. And by the way, everything I'm talking about, I know this is in the context of Fiverr, but this is for everything. This is for everything other than Fiverr, right? I want you to target a specific area with tones and a category. All right, so, you know, I'm going to do a conversational video narration voiceover. Okay, that's great. That is a great title. All right, tones and categories. Make sense? Okay, now when we dive into your description and your sales, your copy, I call it sales copy again because it is. You've got to sell. You've got to sell it. Okay, so really push yourself to sell these things. It makes a big difference. Sell your services, and you do that again by telling people why you are the best thing for that. That's going to help them be the most successful. Okay, because it's about them, but it's about what you can do to help them. I love to use the analogy, you're Yoda, they're Luke Skywalker, right? You're helping them be successful. All right, so we need to talk briefly about the demo, and I think that, you know, I notice that when you put apples to apples, when all things are equal, you've done all the work. In the end, your acting has to be great as well. So this is a two-part here. We've got to have all the business stuff that goes over here, but then your acting has to be fantastic. And if you feel like you are putting in a lot of work and building out your portfolio and building out your profile, doing everything you can, you've listened to my darn videos 20 times and you're sick of it, you've tried everything, you're just not keep getting the work, you know, we might need to take a look at what your demo is telling people. Are you selling what, you know, are you selling what people are buying? I listen to a lot of people's demos, and a lot of times they have these incredible demos, but the demos are not like what people are buying on the particular platform. And if you want to know what people are buying, simply go to like the top rated sellers, go to the first, second, third page and listen to all of the jobs, because most of the people have their portfolios turned on, right? Top rated sellers have two types of portfolios. There's the one where everybody has it, top rated seller or just starting off, where it's after, you know, on the bottom ribbon underneath your picture that you can listen to it. But then top rated sellers have another portfolio where you can add videos and things to it separately. And I have one of those, and I have like 24, 25 videos of work that I've done that's in that portfolio too. But that's just for top rated sellers. But you don't need to, you can listen to everyone's portfolios and hear what they're being hired for. And then tailor your demo, your samples to that audience, what people are hiring. Then you're going to see a big difference in people, you know, getting, clicking on you and then hiring you. That's a big thing, right? Actually put out what people are asking for on that platform, and it shows all the information right there. Okay. All right. So listen, I hope this has been helpful. Take a moment and put some questions in, put some comments in. I love to answer your questions and see what we got going on here. Let's see everybody we got over on Instagram. Hello, everybody. We got Dane, we've got Randall, we've got Bald Buckeye. I love that name. Bald Buckeye. Let's see. We've got Happy Friday, Anthony. For real this time. Absolutely, Dane. We've got Microphone Rocky. What's up? Let's see. We got Eric Flyer here. Yes, sir. We got Zach. I'm excited to work with you, Zach. I know you just got that demo, and I'm looking forward to it, my friend. Tom, it's good to have you from YouTube. Dave, Swag. I know you keep saying. I know. I'm sure if I started selling swag gear though with Fiverr on, Fiverr would probably come after me. Let's see. Paul, reading that book. Thank you for pointing us toward it. Oh, awesome, Paul. Nice, my friend. Let's see. Just got his first Fiverr gig thanks to listening to Anthony. Hey, awesome, man. Congrats. Martin, what's up, Martin? How you doing? Frank, it's good to have you guys here. All right, listen, we got some questions. We've got time. If you got questions, comments, go ahead and post them. This is always a question and answer session on Friday. If you have any questions about your particular gig, things that are happening with customers, I've had some definitely interesting week with customers. I've done, a lot of voiceovers this month. Looks like I'm already over 100 voiceovers this month on Fiverr, and it's been quite a month full of, great customers, and of course, just like everybody else, some challenging ones. So, it's definitely always a journey. All right, any questions? Nobody's posting any questions. Interesting, very interesting. Well, I know there's a little lag here, but I'll wait just a few more seconds. If not, I do want to point out something to you that we've got an amazing thing going on. So I have the fortune to, we have a group called Fiverr Elite, and we meet once a week on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And it's a group that we all get together. We've got myself and multiple top-rated sellers in that group. And we all get together, and the whole goal, the focus of that group is using analytics, using numbers, using experiences, reviews of each other and accounts to help grow our Fiverr businesses. And it is a wonderful, wonderful group. And if you would love to join, I think we have over 55 people in the group now. And I love to see Fiverr, because if you go on Fiverr, you see so many of our group members at the top rankings on so many different keywords in the pages. It's really great, and I love to see that. So there'll be a link below how you can join Fiverr Elite, or you can go over to VOsJourney.com and join there. But let's see. It looks like we might have some people asking some questions. Jason, what's up, my man? Do you have a dream role project that you'd like to be cast as? Oh, that's pretty cool. Yes, I do. I don't know. I always want, and this is the silliest thing out of everything that I've ever done, Jason. I would love to be. So I love video games, right? I'm a video game kind of nerd, but I also like a game called World of Warcraft, and I always love the cinematics. The cinematics are great, and I always wanted to play like the king or one of those guys where it's like, he's like, my son. Like, I always wanted to do that line. So that's like something I would love to do. Although, the king's died now a couple times and all that jazz. And I know and I don't know if, Blizzard would ever hire me, because I don't, run in those circles. But I would love to be cast in like a major game like that with a cinematic. I think that would be kind of cool. But I'm pretty much living my dream though right now. So that would be like icing on the cake. Good question, Jason. I appreciate that. Let's see. Ozzy says, hey, when I produce a gig, should I put different voiceover samples of commercials with a rap commercial demo, or should I start at profile it as a music? If it's something like, if it's like a rap commercial where you're rapping, I think you would probably put that in music. But you could give it a try on either one. I don't know many people who are doing that, so that could be a good thing, but also maybe an indication that it might not be, the best thing to put in the voice section. You know what I mean? It might be better to do it in the music section, Ozzy. All right, let's see. Over on Jason. Oh, also, have you ever worked with any major animation studios? So I've worked with studios out of Phoenix and some out of different parts of the country, but when it comes to major, like I said, have I worked with places like Blizzard or something like that? Nope, I sure have not. Sure have not. And funny story, when I first started voiceover, I had no idea what I was doing. So I wanted to work with Blizzard, right? And so I didn't know what I was doing. So I was emailing their customer service, like for the game. And I was like, hey, if you need a voiceover artist, I'd love to. I look back at it, I just think it's so funny now. But you know what? It was a dream, and it's a goof thing. There probably was some dude sitting over there be like, what is wrong with this guy? Why does he keep saying he wants to do voiceover? So anyways, but yeah, no, I've not worked with any of those studios. Nope. All right, let's see. Martin, as a French voiceover, do you think it is a good idea to mix English and French part in the gig description? Martin, excellent question. Here's what I want to say, and I've worked with French voiceover artists as well as German, as well as different voiceover artists who do both. So here's the deal. If you speak both and if English is your secondary language, my recommendation is to do both. I mean, 2 separate gigs. The wonderful thing about Fiverr is you can target, different people, different areas with different gigs. If you do, if you do speak English, do a, French accent. I do English, or, I'll do a English voiceover in a French accent, or I could do a French voiceover. Do you know what I mean? And don't be afraid to put the tones in there, or whatever part of France you're from, because I know there's different dialects like any other country. So don't be afraid to utilize. I mean, if you're just starting out on Fiverr, you get 7 different gigs you can use. So I would use different ones. What I wouldn't do though is I see what you're saying about in the same gig. I would shy away from that, because you could, but I don't see the point of doing that. Doesn't, the likelihood that someone's going to come there, see that you're speaking 2 different languages in your description, and then find that appealing for the purpose of you doing a voiceover, it makes more sense to split them up, meaning you do different gigs. Does that make sense? Good question, Martin. Let's see. Dane says, Dana Renavo, what is it? Dana Renavo. Sorry, man, or VO. Sorry, it's Dan VO. All of us do the VO stuff. Dane Rian VO, maybe 3. All right, please talk a little about placing buy now and where is my Fiverr gig. Placing buy now and where is my Fiverr gig. Let's see, Dane. So about placing buy now. So I like to always put the buy now button right. I mean, you got to have a call to action, right? You have to have a call to action on your gig. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, Dame. And to have it, for me, the biggest thing is I make sure on each one of my gigs, I have a call to action at the end that says, don't waste any time, buy now, or, I'm ready to work together with you, buy now, purchase now, hit the green button over there, and buy now, because it's over to the right side of the screen when they're looking at it. So that's, Dane, I always put a buy now. Some people like to put, favorite my gig and stuff. And listen, you could do any of it as long as you have a call to action. I personally want people to buy from me and me not have to do a long conversation with them. Right? That's what I would like to do. So, I think that's something as well. Let's see. Have you also worked with any? Okay, we talked about that one. All right, let's come over here. Flyer here, Eric. Is there any easy way to figure out what titles get clicked? Or do you just have to scroll through the top rated? Okay, thank you for that. So again, up at the search, all right, a good thing to do is to type in different tones and categories when using VoiceOver as well and sees what come up. Just like Google, and you could do that with Google too. Go to Google, type in VoiceOver or type in, conversational VoiceOver, but type that into the Fiverr search and see if it comes up. If it comes up, Okay, by the way, you need to do this on, you need to make sure either your cache is cleared or you need to do it in an incognito window so there's no extra cache built up so you're not seeing searches that you've already done. But put those like titles that you want in the search, and if they come up, the likelihood that it's being searched. Also, look around at the categories that Fiverr has. They're called purpose, all right? But those are categories, the 9 of them, right? Video narration, podcasts, etc., as well as the tones, you know, because Fiverr added tones. They didn't add tones because no one was searching for them. They added those tones because people were searching for them. So that's why I say use tones and use categories in the thing. I put up a new gig about a month and a half ago, and it has just been on fire for conversational, and I put a deep and conversational video narration voiceover was my title. And for deep voiceover and conversational voiceover, I'm at the top. Most of the time, I'm number 1 on those pages out of everyone. And it's brought me tons of traffic and tons of business. Okay, so of course I also have killer videos on that and a great demo as well. But you know, that's something that I recommend Eric to do. Let's see, Tom, have you done a video showing a newbie what to expect with how to make the Fiverr first sale, or make the first Fiverr sale, maybe from the buyer's request to the completion and delivery of the VO. So Tom, what I have done is if you're on my YouTube channel, I've done how I do a voiceover on Fiverr, and I show how, now I've not done it from like putting a buyer's request in, getting the order, but I do it from the order to actually fulfilling the order, doing the voiceover, doing the editing, and then putting it through and submitting it. So I've done that, Tom, but I've not done like a buyer's request one specifically. So that's an interesting idea. I'll think about that. Let's see. Ozzy, yes, sir. Angela, what's up? Eric, it's great to have you. Dave G, why buy a demo from you and not a more expensive producer? Quality is a concern. Great question, Dave. I love that. And you know what? Why don't I charge more money? Well, I tell you what, I love making demos. I've always enjoyed producing. I've been a director and so forth. And I love this question. And by the way, this is an interesting question, not just, and Dave, I'm going to use this as an example for Fiverr as well. You know, many times people will look at a price and they judge you based on the price, right? We know this, right? Because a lot of us get chastised for using Fiverr because the price is low. But I love the interview that I did with Red Horks from Fiverr, you know, who does 600 plus orders a month and makes an insane amount of money through voiceover and through Fiverr, you know, and I asked her why she kept her prices at $10. I mean, she charges $10 an order, and yet this woman is making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year through Fiverr, you know, and she said that her biggest belief was that she wanted people to have access to quality professional work at an affordable price. They didn't have to pay an insane amount of money. And, you know, I couldn't have put it better myself. I feel the same way. That's more than enough money for me and my partner who I work with, Andrew, who does all the producing of demos for me. I mean, when it comes to the, he's a savant. He does amazing work. And when it comes to the production side, you know, and I write the scripts and do the coaching. And I believe that that's enough money to pay him and I. I don't need to get rich from helping people do demos. I just want to put out great demos for them and work with them. So I hope that answers your question, Dave. I don't think you have to charge an insane amount of money to get quality. However, that doesn't mean that, you know, you can't still get shafted by buying something more expensive or buying something less expensive. So in the end, this is what I would recommend any of you do. And the same thing on Fiverr, as well as this, Dave, is that don't just buy something based on price, but also don't just buy something based on, what you assume. Do some work, look into things, talk to people, and see if the person that you want to work with is doing what you want, if it matches up with what you're trying to do, and then make your decision. absolutely. I love that question, and I think those questions should be asked. But I hope that helped, and thank you for asking it. That was good. Putting me on the spot. I like that, Dave. All right, Eric, let's see. At Martin Brill, from what I've learned in sales and marketing pros, I'd say not only separate gigs, but separate demos and separate websites according to your target market. Nice, yeah. Eventually, anyways. Absolutely. So when you target one specific thing, do really well at that one thing, okay, then grow to the next thing and do really well at that thing, right? And we can grow from there. Absolutely, I totally agree. Let's see, Eric, total separation for market distinction differentiation. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that goes back to that book too that we are reading. One page. It's called the One Page Marketing Plan. Let's see. Over Jason says, do you ever find it easier to do screaming, overly emotional scenes than it is to speak regularly as a character, or is it just me? So I will say that when you're screaming and you're doing all those things, I do think that it's easier to go over the top, Jason, and to really put yourself like in a position that you can over accentuate crazy things. So yes, it can be easier, and it can be more challenging putting together something that is more real, like everyday type of thing, because you've got to look for little nuances, as opposed to when you go all out, you can just have a blast and go crazy with things, you know? So I do find it challenging. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why voices that we know are so crazy that we like, because they're all kind of crazy like that. Let's see. Jeremy says, hello, happy Friday. What's up, my man? Good to see you, Jeremy. Clark says, I'm afraid to purchase a professional demo because I'm afraid I won't be able to deliver that sound to my clients. How do you know when you should get a professional demo? That's awesome, Clark. And to bring up what Dave said, if you are looking for a professional demo, I'd love to help you. But whether it's me or not, I think I always believe, and I started out too, if you look, actually, you can go back on YouTube and see that I used to do, I did a long video about how to make your own demo. And when I first started, I looked at buying demos from people like Chuck Duran, who are amazing, right? And even Bill DeWeese is amazing. You know, I've had him on the podcast, and these guys are fantastic. And there's other wonderful video demo producers out there too. And but you know, they were quite pricey for me at the time, and also I had the same fears. So what I did is I did everything I could to work very hard to teach myself how to do them, because I wanted to make sure that I could produce what people heard. So I had the same thoughts. But as I went on, I made it a priority to continue to teach myself how to use my DAW, how to produce, how to integrate effects and sounds and compression and sidechain and ducking and but then there's the artistry part of it. And that's a different part, right? Because you have all the technical aspects, but then you have the artistry part, and I talk about this with demos as well. It's not just enough to have a really technically sound demo, all right, where you've got your mixing is really well and it just sounds really professional. It's not just enough anymore for that. And I'll tell you why. And I talk about this on Fiverr. It's because if you put out a demo, and I hear this all the time, people come and they might have a demo that's highly geared towards maybe commercial studios out of LA, right? Well, this is the thing. You're not going to get, like, I listen to these demos and they're like, I just don't understand why I'm not getting work. Because that particular, it's not the quality of the demo production itself. It's the actual material that you have. Also, is your material moving? Listen, we live in a world where you've got to move people. You've got to inspire them. You've got to wow them within that specific moment. And if you're not doing that, you're losing the game. Plus, with everything going on in the world right now, you better make sure that you are inspiring people, you are showing love and affection and friendliness and all that stuff right now, because that's what we need as a world. That's what the world's looking for. Okay, so you better have some of that in your demos and your offerings, because that's what people are looking for right now. So you cannot be blind to the artistry as well. So to answer your question, when you are ready to work with someone who will also help you, see, like I don't just offer the demos, I coach part of the people. And if you ask anybody that's worked with me with the demos, we do a lot of coaching, a lot of voiceover coaching with it, acting coaching. And because I believe in that, because you want to make sure that you don't get a demo and you're not ready to produce it, right? I mean, you're not ready, like from the acting standpoint, to put out a demo, because you're going to pay money for it. Whether it's me, that's like I charge $500, or whether it's, someone who charges $2,500, it's up to you. So I would say that be able to put one out yourself, but when you are ready to up your game to the next level and push yourself, you know what I mean? Try to work with somebody who will help you learn how to do all of that at the same time and do your demo. Okay? All right. And by the way, I've always produced all of my demos. Let's see. Clark, and I've done many other demos. So for other people. Let's see. Frank says, hi, Anthony. I've updated all my gigs by adding the commercial and full broadcast rights. Questions. What do you do when the client answers no when they are obviously selling something? It happens a lot, Frank. I hear you. So you got two options. Either A, you fight them, okay, and you lose even more money by wasting your time, or B, you just make a simple decision. I'm going to work with them or I won't. And if, by the way, if you don't want to work with them, block them. But if they've already purchased from you, again, you got to make that decision. I'll be honest with you. In the past, if that's happened to me, this is what I do. And they've purchased something, I will let them know they need to buy it. I will send them the offer through the gig. Then I will do it and I will deliver it. And then I will ask them kindly to pay it. If they pay it, most of the time when you deliver it, they actually pay it. Sometimes they don't. And in which case you just have to chalk that up to that's part of doing business on Fiverr. Okay. If someone, now, can you go further? Yes, there is a intellectual properties claims division of Fiverr. And then if you go on the screen and you scroll all the way down to the bottom ribbon down there you'll see it's like intellectual property claims. You can actually file one if you found them, but you're going to have to go through like a process where you have to have evidence that they're running your stuff somewhere and, they didn't pay for the rights and stuff. So you can go through all that. But to me, that's why I just offer everything in perpetuity, because it's just, the way I do my business, I'm fine with them buying it out. But see, that's just me. That's not everybody else. So you might be a difference. You might want them to license it for 6 months or a year. So you have to really be specific about that. I hope that helps. Let's see. Zach, Dave's demo question was good. I can add to what Anthony said and honestly say that even if I could afford a more expensive one, he has built up the trust to give me confidence to go with him. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Thank you. Fly here, Eric. You just don't know what you don't know. Some thoughts about how to get to know Audition beyond just recording and taking breath and clicks out. So I've literally, I think for me over the time, I have just looked at stuff, found stuff and wondered, hey, how do I do this with my voice? How do I make that happen? You know what I mean? How do I add different music beds? How do I put together a 10 or a 15 point effect and audio chain, you know what I mean, with, compression in and out and all these. How do you come up with all these things? How do I make my voice sound like Bane from Batman? Like all these different things. And you figure it out by looking at YouTube videos, by screwing up, by going into Audition and messing around with stuff. And, after a while, it becomes a part of what you do. But I've done so many voiceovers, Eric, now that it's become second nature to me. And I'm not saying I'm an expert on Audition by any means, but, I've used the platform a lot for a lot of different things. Plus, here's another thing too. I do a lot of editing and stuff too. So one thing I do that many people don't know is I actually work with a couple clients that I do full cartoons, like the audio for that. So I do a lot of where there'll be many different voice actors that are hired, and I get the audio from that, the music, the sound effects, and I put the entire audio together for, an entire, 10 to 20 minute show. And with 10, 15 different actors and effects and sound. I mean, just so even though it's only 10 to 15 minutes, if you know anything about it, it's a lot of work, but it's helped me understand a lot, right? A lot how to use all the different aspects of of Adobe Audition, and helped me in producing other people's demos as well. So good question. Takes time. All right, let's see. Voiceover Angela says, Anthony's a fabulous coach. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. All right, do we have anything over here? Jason says, gotta go. Peace and love to you, brother. Oh, you too, man. Thanks for everything you do for this crazy community. You make a bigger impact than you may realize. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Hey, you guys, awesome questions today. Really awesome questions. Dave, I really appreciate your question today. I think it's really important to ask people that question. Hopefully, I answered it well enough for you. And thank you, everyone else, for your amazing questions. As always, my heart and prayers go out to all of our frontline workers. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you all for being such an amazing community. You make what I do amazing. So thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful Friday. I will see you soon. And a lot of you, I'll see you tomorrow morning in Fiverr Elite. But other than that, have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye. Goodbye.